Up to this moment, a lot of work has already been done and quite a large sum of money has been invested in building the motorhome. Yes, from the outside there are hints of something camper-like, but if you look inside, you definitely wouldn't be able to call this vehicle a camper. At the moment, it looks more like an ordinary van, with a certain amount of stuff chaotically scattered in the cargo area. Today, even though the van still won't be suitable for traveling and living in, starting from this very day, it can be called a camper or a motorhome, and that's because its interior will visually change significantly. It will no longer be just a cargo area, but a space divided into zones, with clear separation not only in my head but also on your screen. I myself am curious to see how it will turn out, since designing furniture in a space where there's no clear horizon, no straight vertical walls, basically nothing to rely on, is quite a challenge. The only thing we have is a relatively flat floor, and that's it. Nothing more. With a measuring tape and some 3D imagination, we began planning the furniture. The task was to design the furniture and think it through down to the millimeter, since the layout had already been decided back when we visited the camper exhibition, choosing the most optimal option. It also happens to be the most common one among builders, and that's not without reason. I'll explain later what the advantages of such a layout are. A worn-out measuring tape, a few nights at the computer, and the project was ready. Usually, furniture for motorhomes is made from lightweight plywood because it's strong, light, and you could say resistant to moisture. But we didn't want to make the furniture from regular plywood. We didn't like its final look. We also didn't feel like dealing with painting or laminating. In general, we didn't even want to make the furniture ourselves. It's long, complicated, and it would never turn out perfect. From the very beginning, the goal of the project was to simplify everything as much as possible. Since while building our two-story house we worked enough, accomplishing an enormous amount of work, I myself looked back and wondered, did we really manage to do all of that with our own hands? You can find a link to that series below the video. Check it out if you haven't seen it. I think most people have already watched our house building saga. So the task looked like this. We needed to achieve a good appearance for the furniture with the minimum amount of work. And of course, the price also mattered. The simplest option turned out to be making the furniture from classic particle board, chipboard, the same material all the furniture in our home is made of. It's a common material. Countless factories handle the cutting, competition is high, prices are balanced, and the process is well tested. We placed an order, and in 2 weeks we received this stack of lumber. Yes, chipboard isn't really suitable for camper furniture since the material is heavier, not as strong as plywood, and afraid of moisture, as you know. But we still decided to take the risk, saving money and time. If everything falls apart, it will make for good content, and no one will stop us from replacing the furniture later, taking into account practical use in real life. I think there will be flaws and miscalculations in any case, but we'll see that in future episodes. Well then, let's get to work. In the van, we decided to keep the factory floor. It's already cut to the shape of the room. That's a plus, but there's also a nuance, one that adds a bit of work. I'm closing the factory holes so that dirt and dust don't get in. Degreasing. And applying leftover glue from the floor installation. Preparing the shower tray for stationary installation. Next to us, there's another similar van parked. Interesting. Maybe it will also become a camper someday. We're recording a video of the rain noise on our roof. Just for history, later when we insulate the ceiling with a rubber mat, we'll also test the noise level. Of course, we won't be able to test it properly without a special device, but overall it will be clear enough. I think without roof soundproofing, sleeping here will be impossible. I applied glue generously across the entire perimeter and center. Pressed it well and cleaned up the excess. I've already brought in some of the furniture. This will be the cabinet, the shower cabin, the seat, and a small shelf under the feet. We're starting with the shower cabin since it's the largest and will be installed here permanently. I'll mount it with glue and fix it securely so that it can't be removed. All the other furniture modules will remain removable. On the back wall of the shower cabin, I decided to make shelves, especially since behind the wall there was unused extra space. I'm protecting the shower tray from damage. The shower cabin is ready. Now we'll install the safety frame. Now it needs to be screwed in, but I can't manage it alone. I need to call Natalia to hold it so that these bolts don't spin. Before installing the furniture, the walls need to be insulated and we should think about soundproofing. I won't go into details right now. I'll make a separate episode about that. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss this and other upcoming episodes about building and using the camper. You hold the bolt with this wrench, and I'll screw it in from below. Okay. Are you holding it? Yes. Can I squeeze through here? I squeeze through. That's already good. We need to switch wrenches because I can't screw it in with this one.
Yeah.
It's not very convenient to tighten with this wrench.
That door?
It's holding well. In parallel with construction, we're constantly buying something for the camper. Another package of presents from China has arrived. Even though you know what you ordered, it's still fun to unpack. A dress, a handbag, pants. What's that? A ventilation pipe. An extractor fan. An extractor fan? Yes. Clamps for the ventilation pipe. Ventilation pipes. A game. These are for fixing electrical cables to the walls. Playton, look what we've got here. You'll like it. Cool, we didn't have one of these before. This one's mine. And this is a stand for the table. One move and it's ready, and the tabletop goes on top. This is how our van looks at the moment. Let's film it for the record. There are things over there. Here the shower cabin is installed, and here there's still nothing. I'm screwing in all the bolts that came with the frame. This time there were no extras left. That's good. And I'm assembling the seat. A ventilation hole is needed. For the compartment where the EcoFlow station will be located. Very nice. I like it. This part is ready. And once again, the rain starts. Just a moment ago, the weather was nice here. And now a cloud is coming and the rain is starting to drizzle. I'm hiding in the van again. Office plugs used as decorative elements. Not bad at all. The first one to get its own stationary place is the EcoFlow. This is where it will stand. We just need to come up with some straps or clamps to secure it so that it doesn't move during driving. And from here, all the cables will run to the wall to the external socket and then spread throughout the body, powering all our electrical devices. Here we have 2 ventilation grills. Please write in the comments if you have practical experience. Do we need to install any additional fans here? The seat is ready, now the floor. I trimmed the smaller part. Now the main one. From this rectangular board, we need to cut out the floor for here. Go around the seat mounts. And here make a smooth cut so that there's a comfortable corridor. The task is quite tricky. Look what has changed in the van. Wow. Cool. Sit down, take a rest. Now 2 more passengers will be able to ride here. The seat is too wide. There will also be a cushion and a backrest, and then it will be comfortable. The floor will also be level with this heater under the feet. Shall we remove the seat? Yes. Now it's much more convenient to work. Nothing gets in the way anymore. If only we could remove this seat as well. In the final version, everything under the floor should look like this. This drawer should be right here. And here we have the heater. Air will enter the cabinet, split into 2 flows here. One will go to the rear part of the van, and the other will pass through the ventilation channel and enter here. Through the upper ventilation grill, air will enter the cabin, and through the side grill, air will reach the door area. So the entire space under the floor will be used as efficiently as possible. Here I cut everything to shape. Everything's perfect. Now here in the corridor area, I need to cut it so there's a passage. Usually people just cut it half round, but I don't like that shape. I want to make it with 3 straight lines. Here there used to be a wall that separated the cargo area from the driver's cabin. Accordingly, all the plastic parts reached up to that wall, and that was it. But this part wasn't covered, and we need to make it look nice here. The old part. And here's the new one. Since we raised the floor, the part doesn't fit. It needs to be trimmed. Another task. And they say building a camper is simple. Just screw everything together and it's ready. But in fact, all the difficulties lie in these small details, which take a huge amount of time. I hope I don't cut off too much because it won't stick back on. I trimmed it a little and the part fit into place. So many future campers driving around. Cool. Preparing the base for our floor. cleaned it, degreased it, installed pieces of plywood, Now, once the glue hardens at the front part, the floor can be fixed securely. At the back of the van, a fresh water tank is planned. Here we need to make a special platform for it. I have a template to work from. The platform is ready. There's even a drain hole. At this spot under the ceiling, shelves are planned, so they need something to be fixed to. I bought wooden beams, 30 millimeters in size. I'll install them along the stiffening rib, fixing them with glue. I'll also glue wooden beams here to the ceiling, and then I'll screw the shelves to both the upper and lower beams. We could fix them directly to this metal rib using bolts or screws, but that would create a cold bridge, and this bolt inside the shelf would collect condensation during the cold winter period. As a result, the shelf walls would get damp, and we don't need that. Suddenly it started raining. That's bad. But the nature is beautiful, cool. Since we don't have a garage, we depend on the weather. We have to keep watch and catch the days without rain. When it rains, unfortunately, the building process doesn't move forward. I'll cut quickly while the rain isn't too heavy yet. Just a minute, and the entire floor in the van is already wet. At first, I tried applying glue in place, but in this case, you can't see how much you've added at all, plus from the outside it looks messy. With a universal special tool, I'm fixing the situation. In a different sequence, it's both more convenient and faster. And so the leftover glue doesn't go to waste, I'm immediately fixing the platform for the future tank. Well, now let's organize the functional space in the back of the van. doesn't fit, everything needs to be disassembled. I'm tightening all the parts as well as possible, and in some places, even with glue, the furniture has to withstand heavy vibration loads. The special thing about such a mini apartment is that you can take it with you, even to the edge of the world, and out there the roads aren't great. Such a big window in front of us. Where's the big window? For the first time, the first passenger will ride here. No one has ridden here before, and I will ride. Cool. Shall we go? This cabinet, where the gas cylinder, boiler, and various things will be located, is almost ready. Only the facades need to be attached and it'll be done. Now we'll assemble the cabinet on the opposite side. It will hold this tank, the fresh water tank. A new day, a new stage. This is what the cabinet looks like in the final version. On top, there's a shelf where the slatted bed frame will be placed, and on it, the mattress. To the left, right here, we'll have the gas cylinder. We'll make the doors airtight as well as the entire niche. If, theoretically, gas leaks, it will go through these holes in the floor to the outside and not into the vehicle cabin. Although, where would the gas come from? There will only be a few connections. To the right here, will be the Truma boiler, which will heat water for us, so we'll have hot water. This ended up being just a shelf for storing some things, and below too, a shallow shelf for storing some things. And on the opposite side, we'll make a similar cabinet, but smaller. Right here, it will hold this tank. Oh, then nothing else is needed. You can just sleep like this, just your size. Perfect. Almost. If the cabinet were a little longer, it would be perfect. Well, you just grew too big. I like this build. My partner is helping. Something doesn't attach. I wonder, is this the right part from here? All good. Everything works. I'm placing the tank in its spot and covering it with the cabinet. This is how it looks. On the left, there is a little space. There's access to the filling hole for water. There's access to the tank for maintenance. Here we'll also install a pump and a liquid level sensor. Here there will be an LED strip, so there will be lighting in the storage area. And here's a door for access to the space under the tank. What do we have inside here? Oh, here we have a small niche. Here we can install an expansion tank and a pump that will supply water. Let's also install the cover to see the finished look. I think there won't be enough room for the pump in there. In the final version, it will look like this. We'll screw on the facades, and it will be ready. I'm fixing the cabinets so they don't shift around the cabin while driving. With double-sided tape, I'm marking the fixing points. On top, I'm securing with bolts to the beam, and on the bottom with screws to the floor. No questions about the bolts. This will be super reliable. Here, the real question is whether the cabinet itself will hold to this board. Yes, it's screwed in very well here. In general, I think it should hold up fine. Of course, I don't plan to drift with the camper, but who knows? While we were installing the furniture, some decorative interior elements arrived. Well, I'll raise my skill level a bit, even in disassembling a car. The new plastic will cover all the technical elements of the body and create a finished look for the interior. I think something's wrong here. Everything's fine here, but in this spot there's a gap. It turns out that on this side we placed the seal on top of the plastic. Accordingly, on the opposite side we can do the same. Let's try to fix it. Perfect, just as the manufacturer intended. This plastic costs about $50, but it saves an unreal amount of time, and the look, of course, is fantastic. If you make the decorative part yourself, it takes much longer and doesn't look as good. All sorts of little details are nice, but there are main elements that must be in the van for it to become a camper. And one of those elements is the bed. And we're making it now. could have built a super complex construction and spent a huge amount of time on it. But we chose a simpler way. We bought a ready-made bed frame. There wasn't a frame of the exact size and shape available, so I bought one a little bigger than needed, and now I'll trim it to fit the niche and the tricky shapes. Here we need to cut the corner, and the same situation on the opposite side. We need to figure out how to neatly go around the corner. Another detail to consider: if we fully assemble the frame, it won't fit through the door opening. We won't be able to bring it in and put it down. It needs to be made in two parts. The frame has to be smaller so that we can bring it through these doors and put it down. In case we need to remove the bed and transport large items, or if we want to walk around here, or throw a disco party, for example, on this 1 square meter. But since I split the frame into 2 separate parts, now some pieces are missing to put it all together, here and here. I foresaw this and yesterday bought an additional board. It's not plywood, but I think it won't affect the result. That's how it goes in production. But it's not the saw. Everything's fine. All fingers are still here. Painter's tape is used in all sorts of areas. I'm trimming the slats and assembling the main part. But it's not that simple. Nothing is holding together. We're trying it horizontally. And the second part is more massive. Perfect length. When you sit, does your head hit the ceiling? No, it doesn't. Me neither. But here we'll also have a mattress 15 centimeters thick. When the mattress is in place, we'll check again. This is how it turned out. Here's such a small half. Among the advantages of such a frame, I'll also note the air gap underneath. The ventilation space helps remove moisture and keeps the mattress in good condition. It seems the finish line is near, but we still need to install the kitchen, do the electrics, water, plumbing, gas, and test it all in real conditions. So, subscribe to the channel and see you in the next episodes. Probably time to wrap up for today. Otherwise, the episodes are already quite long. Or do you want them longer? Write in the comments.